Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the October 17th, 2020 edition of Pro Wrestling Throwdown. I'm Caleb Black. My co-pilot and other pilot, Luke the Big Dog Williams, as always, our in-studio producer, the mighty Max Fury. How is you this Saturday, my man?
Still trying to recover from Anna fight.
How are you feeling Saturday, Max?
Oh, I'm feeling great. We had fantastic show, Anna Underground, and it was absolutely insane. I can't wait to talk about that.
That's right. We called the live show. We're going to have a whole video dedicated to that later on as the day continues. But right now, it's time to open the show, as always, with What's News in Wrestling. The headlines this week, not going to lie, not a whole lot of them.
No.
But there are a couple of them. Joey Ryan now issuing a lawsuit to sue Impact for $10 million.
It almost sounds like a line out of an Austin Powers movie, doesn't it?
Joey Ryan would not have made $10 million from Impact working there in 100 years. And he's not going to get $10 million out of them now.
So question, if he can sue Impact Wrestling for $10 million for something like that, can I sue him for the stress and anguish that I have to go through to read this shit? Like, let's be honest here. I think that I am owed some form of restitution.
It's total nonsense. The guy has lost his... Of course, now, he's found Jesus, and he's turned his life around, all the old tropes to get back in the good graces of the people.
Even though he ran a wrestling promotion called Bar Wrestling.
And had people touch his dick. Against their will. In some instances,
in some cases, I mean,
touched his penis,
and that's where
Jesus doesn't forget, Joey,
and that's why we're where we're at. Other news: the WWE Thunderdome has now extended even longer to include Survivor Series.
Yep, they're going to be in the Thunderdome through November, so we'll get another pay-per-view in there. And it is interesting. The WWE also released a press release saying that they're not going to return to having people in the crowd for their shows until sometime in January.
Yes. Even
though Florida's already made it totally acceptable for full venue fan attendance for these events. Kind of a classy move, in my opinion, given the COVID crazy. The WWE still kind of respecting the social distancing.
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that from a marketing standpoint, it's genius.
Yeah.
You let everyone else do it, and you wait.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
You wait, and you wait, and then when WWE goes, by the way, tickets for this will be on sale, such and such. Right. You've got an automatic sold-out show.
Speaking of COVID and shows, obviously the Independent Collective ran last week. If you're not familiar with the Collective, it is literally a collection of numerous independent wrestling promotions that come together every year to run a full 3 days of sun up to sundown pro wrestling.
Almost like some kind of a music festival.
Right. Exactly, yeah. A bunch of people have contacted COVID fans, wrestlers alike. We wish for a speedy recovery to everybody. That's why you have to admonish the social distancing protocols.
Wear a mask.
Take the temperatures. Wear the masks. Separate yourselves. We sit this closely, but we interact with one another every single day. Publicly, we wear our masks.
And I haven't got sick of his bullshit, so I'm getting sick. Also, over the weekend, from what I understand, Goldberg is back in the WWE news.
Goldberg.
Saying that him watching the Universal title match on SmackDown, he was very interested in seeing who would come out as the winner.
Well, they are talking about revisiting the Roman Reigns-Goldberg match at some point. They're also talking about Roman Reigns and The Rock. I don't know what. We don't know what's
talk of Cena and The Undertaker.
Yeah, they don't know what's what. We don't know what's what. Oh, Cena and The Undertaker. That's also, yes, you're right, a topic of conversation. A rematch from their, what WrestleMania was it?
The last WrestleMania with fans, 35. WrestleMania 35.
Yeah. So it'd be like Ernest Goes to Hell, right?
Sort of. Never quite thought of it that way, but that works. Also, speaking of The Undertaker, later this month, WWE Network is going to start a program of 30 days for 30 years for The Undertaker.
Yeah, man, I cannot wait. I'm the biggest Undertaker fan of the whole world. He beat Shawn Michaels twice at WrestleMania. Have to remind him of that.
I mean, I love you in a heterosexual kind of way. Not there's anything wrong with that.
Mostly. Yeah, I'm excited. As always, The Undertaker's chosen the perfect time to look behind the proverbial curtain, protected his legacy, protected his identity for years and years. So it really is kind of cool that we get these opportunities to see the man behind the monster.
Correct.
Very, very cool. Logan Stunt made the news this previous week. If you're not familiar with Logan Stunt, he is the brother and also wrestler, but the brother of AEW's Marco Stunt. We won't talk about the Marco Stunt issue that occurred at the Collective because it was a stupid thing. But Logan Stunt apparently sexually harassed a gear maker, adding him to the venerable list of shitbags that has now been brought to light in the wrestling business. So if you're a shitbag, don't be one. Get out of the wrestling business and get drunk and drive a car real fast. Those are my suggestions.
I don't even use the word shitbag. So I mean,
I don't know about that, sir.
I can't remember I ever used it.
Can you think of anything else going on?
Well, yeah.
Well, then let's hear it.
I can think of a couple.
Well,
things.
then fuck. I wish you would.
WWE is using stock footage for the Thunderdome shows.
In order to control the obvious, we have the KKK guy and we had the Kenny Omega guy and just the controversial fans who don't want anybody to have any fun, the Nazi flag asshole. WWE has taken control of their stock footage, utilizing that in the Thunderdome. I don't disagree with the move. It's a way to keep control. They're still letting fans participate. It's not like they're not. They're just limiting the seating, filling up other spots.
Speaking of filling up other spots, WWE has announced that live shows and live shows attendance won't be being brought back until early 2022 at the earliest.
Yes, for the house shows.
Live shows, yes.
Yeah. Which, again, they're admonishing the social distancing protocols. They're going to slowly edge their way back into full capacity. You got to remember, these guys on a Monday night get 17,000 people.
Yeah.
All seated closely, all interacting closely, and it's hard to create a comfortable environment, especially with wrestling fans, if you got to sit 6 feet away from your group, and if you're only paying, if they're only filling up arenas at 25% capacity. They're not making any money anyway.
Right. So
it's a business decision. They're going to slowly integrate back into the economy and back into the fan setting. And personally, like you said, it's a great way to incentivize fans when those events are live again to have a rare opportunity to start to get going.
Right. Finn Balor underwent successful surgery on his broken jaw.
He did, so hopefully he'll be recovered. Obviously, with NXT's Halloween Havoc right around the corner, we want to see a title match on it. Don't know if we're going to get one yet. We'll keep you updated as the news comes to us because we're getting it at the same time you guys are. Ridge Holland's still out. I went back and rewatched that injury video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a Sid Vicious level break.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. I was going to say rest in peace. Get well soon, Ridge.
Lars Sullivan in the news. Again, for being a quote-unquote as
shitbag.
Thank you. Sending private messages to a yoga instructor who I'm not going to talk about what it actually said in the I have read them. All I'm going to say is that she tried gracefully to be as nice as completely possible to Mr. Sullivan over the things that were said, and in the end, being a nice person really doesn't get you anywhere. Especially when it comes to people who feel they're entitled to be able to talk to you any way they feel like.
And what do we call those people? Shitbags.
As far as that's concerned, though, I'm pretty sure that's the news. I don't think we've forgotten anything.
I don't know if we have, but there's a way to let us know if we did. There are 3 ways, as a matter of fact. Number 1, you can like, subscribe, and leave us a comment down below. Number 2, you can send us an email at prowrestlingthrowdown@gmail.com. And number 3, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/prowrestlingthrowdown. Stay tuned for the Raw draft review coming up right now.
Support indie wrestling.
Woo!